Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central. I'm one of your hosts, Haize. I'm joined by them cognac boys, C-Dubb and Bobby in the building. You already know what it is. This is number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Today, we're going to be discussing the upcoming Bears free agents in the next offseason, who stays, who goes. We're going to play a little game with that. We'll also be talking about what former Bears will have the best season this season, and then we'll end on some advanced stats for Darnell Mooney and what that tells us about his real potential as being a number one wide receiver. We'll get into all that and more in today's Chicago Bears Central.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, people. So, first up, who stays, who goes? So, the Bears have a handful of upcoming free agents. Well, they have more than that, but key free agents. I'll just focus on some of the bigger names here. So, for the list that we're going to be talking about, Roquan Smith, David Montgomery, Byron Pringle, who hasn't even played a game for the Bears yet, Morrow, and DHC. So, C-Dubb, Bobby. So, first, we're going to start off with Roquan Smith. Stay or go? Where you sit with this right now?
Well, obviously, Raekwon Smith has to stay. They're going to pay this man the best player on the team. Yeah. There's no questions about it.
Yeah.
He will be here. The money counting is loading up. They plugging it in the socket right now. He finna get paid. He gonna be here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get a contract extension worked out even before free agency even starts next year, between now and then, because you got to if you don't re-sign Roquan Smith, you got to have a hell of a thing to come in to be replaced. Because I'm telling you right now, Bears fans are not going to stand for it. It's not
no way.
It's not gonna happen, man. Like,
going to
I don't care
if
he, like knock on wood. I don't care if he does get injured for some reason and only plays 3 games this season. You still pay that man. You pay him.
You got to
pay that man.
You pay him. I'm gonna say I'm not expecting you guys to put a number on it, but I say Roquan is easily gonna sign for 3 years, probably $65 million.
Okay,
I'm gonna just
he worth that.
He's
worth that. He definitely worth that. Worth more.
Listen, and the way, and also this is one of the things that sucks about the NFL contracts is that nothing's a guaranteed contract in the NFL. They can cut a motherfucker at any time.
Oh yeah.
Smith needs to get his money, man. But rather than putting numbers on everything, next player that we up, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit too. David Montgomery, man. This is one of the biggest, I think, question marks on this whole list, is because it's the position that he's at. It's kind of easy, like I said, it'll be easy for the Bears to replace at least 80 to 85% of what David Montgomery gets. Now, that's not to say that I'm down on him as a player. I love Montgomery. I want to see him be a Bear for a very long time. But just looking at how Ryan Poles manages money, if anybody on this list doesn't come back, I see it being David Montgomery. What do you guys think?
I definitely agree with you. Let me preface my statement saying that I love David Montgomery. His breaking tackle, he breaks tackles like no one other. It's like few in the NFL that can do it. He's a hard worker. He works hard every year, but I think it's like 12 other running backs that can fit the role on a team. And just like you said, Ryan Poles, he's very conservative with his spending when it comes to running backs, at least. So I'm gonna say no with David Montgomery. Just do us a favor. Go crazy this year, David, man.
Yeah.
And then, just give us one. Come on.
I feel like David got to make it hard for the Bears to say no. Like, he has to come in and have a season where the Bears say, hey, man, listen, maybe we didn't originally want to pay him this amount of money, but we kind of got to. Do you see what he just did?
Yeah.
But Bobby, what do you think?
That's a tough one. Because if you think about it, to me, in my opinion, one of the last good running backs we had, and this is a while back, it was Matt Forte. And they ain't even pay his ass.
No.
But we don't know what went on at the negotiating table. We don't know. But I know, or what I believe is, Poe's gonna go to the table and he's gonna say, look, this is what I'm offering. You gonna take it or not? And if that man be like, no, I deserve to be paid like this and want to be the top, it's over. But I believe, I don't know. I think that sometimes situations matter. If he feel like that he in a good situation with Justin Fields, if he shows improvement, the offense continues to grow, there's a strong chance that he will stay. But I'm going to just go ahead and say, because we can't leave no speculation on the table, I believe he returns, and he going to be returning on a discount.
You all in that man money.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna put a number on it, but bro, we already looked at the numbers. Derrick Henry don't even make
that's
like
nuts.
that man. He the whole entire Tennessee Titans offense.
Yes.
And he don't even make like crazy money. He make crazy money if it compared to my money, but you all get the drift.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, and then bring up Matt Forte. Matt Forte played 8 years for the Chicago Bears. 8 amazing. Like Matt Forte was the last running back that we did have here for a considerably long time. And keep in mind that man started off the 2015 season with I think a game like 150 something rushing yards against Green Bay, and the Bears didn't even offer him a contract in that offseason. They didn't even offer him a contract. Now I think he got hurt that season too. At this point, that's like freaking 8 years ago, but I think he got hurt that season. But yeah, they didn't even offer him one. Now that was Ryan Pace rather than Ryan Poles, but you know, David Montgomery's younger than what Forte was at the time. I really do think it's going to come down to, like you said, Ryan Poles is going to come to the table with a contract in mind. He's going to offer that contract and be like, hey man, this is what I got for you. Not to say he's going to say it like a dick, but if there's no wiggle room between that, if Forte's on the mind now. If Montgomery and his agent want more and they're hard on that, I'm going to put a percentage rather than the contract. I say that there's a 65% chance that David Montgomery comes back as a Chicago Bear right now. That percentage can go up, but that's all I'm willing to give it. And it sucks, right? But man, if they're gonna let any big time player go between, and especially if it comes between giving him or Roquan money, we already know that's going to Smith. It's not even a question.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, and then we'll see where the Bears draft too, because they could have a very high draft pick in that running back class. At least me briefly looking at it, looks like it's going to be pretty solid in the draft. They could easily be like, "Hey, man, listen,
yeah, man,
pizza,
we good, man." All right. Next one up. Now, he just signed with the Bears on a prove-it deal. This is Byron Pringle. Now, it's going to be harder to kind of gauge him because we haven't seen what he looks like on this team with this offense with our quarterback Justin Fields. But what percentages or how do you guys feel about Byron Pringle? We're really just going off of what the coaches have said in OTA so far and what he said about his excitement to be here and what he's done in other teams. But what do you guys think as far as Pringle?
Well, Byron Pringle. He's on one of those Ryan Poles 1 year death contracts. Either prove it or you gonna get lost. And I think this guy's up to the task, man. Going by his video from when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs last year, I like this guy, man. I like how he catches the ball. I like his playmaking ability out there. His run after the catch. He's awesome, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we keep this guy 80%. 80% chance we keep this guy, man.
Okay, that's high. That's especially high, just considering, like I said, we haven't actually seen him play for us yet.
Yeah,
but I feel where you're coming from. I won't lie to you. I feel where you're coming from with that. I'll get into my percentages after Bobby. Go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, so I think this guy has a chance to be Christian Kirk 2.0. And I'm not saying that play. I'm saying that this guy have a good season, and then some team that's desperate pay him big money. I don't know. So I believe it's a 50-50 chance. That's the percentage for me. Simply because if this guy goes out and has this crazy year, you know what I'm saying? Some team, like a Jacksonville Jaguars, they will go out and be like, hey, here's all this money. Come play. Plus, you already know wide receivers are at a premium right now. These guys coming out of college like it's nothing. So 50-50 chance is all dependent on what his season look like.
So the things that I try to look at with Byron Pringle are specifically his last season with the Chiefs. And he was a receiver and kick returner for them in most times. He had 42 receptions for 568 yards and 5 touchdowns. But key in on this. This is the thing that made me say, hey, no, this guy's going to be something for the Chicago Bears in the playoffs. He had 5 receptions for 37 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers and 2 touchdowns. Against the Buffalo Bills, 5 receptions, 29 yards, but a touchdown there. This guy is a target, and he gets you touchdowns. For the amount of receptions that he gets per touchdowns, I'm not an advanced stat person when it comes to the NFL, but that to me says, hey, I can see why Poles saw the promise in him and gave him a proof deal to say, hey, man, listen, yes, you haven't done a ton in your NFL career, but you're now going to be the dedicated number 2 more than likely. You're going to be targeted. You're going to get every opportunity to get these receptions and probably a lot of touchdowns as well. I try. Listen, I'm sometimes too much of a logical person. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like my heart really wants to put a 60% chance on it, but like Bobby, just being fair, I gotta probably put a 50-50 chance on it. But I really do think that regardless of if he comes back or not, Byron Pringle is going to be a good weapon for Justin Fields this season. I have no doubts about that.
Facts.
Yes.
So yeah, and just man, like looking at he's 6'1", 203 pounds, man. He's gonna be what's value? I don't remember what size Velus Jones is, but he's clearly going to be a bigger target, especially in the red zone against over Mooney. We'll talk about Mooney later on. We have a whole topic covering him, but yeah, I like Byron Pringle. I like his ability to excel in this team, and we'll see once it gets on the actual field. But I can say that I feel pretty confident about him in the Bears jersey. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the next one. Nicholas Morrow.
Nicholas Morrow, baby.
I say that the guy, it all depends. I would give this one maybe like 65%, maybe a little bit higher, but it's all dependent on if this man can stay healthy, I think he'll stay. If he gets injured and there's something against the knee again, out the door. Out the door. Yeah. So, man, just good health for you, my boy. I hope you have some good health so you can get you some money.
And that's the thing I think that it really comes down to with him. It's not his ability on the field. Like, we know he's a damn good linebacker. It's can you stay healthy? That's really the question. And, I'm going to say this. Unfortunately, this is probably I don't think he's coming back. And not even because I think he's going to have a bad season or anything. I think he only came to the Bears for an opportunity to prove that he can stay healthy. And I think he's going to get an offer. Only being 26 years old, he'll be 27 years old next. Unless the Bears do enough between this offseason with development and next offseason with draft and signing into where they are a surefire playoff team, I think that he's going to get snatched up by a contender or want to go to a better team, in my opinion. So I don't put a very high percentage on it. I'm going to put a 40% chance that Nicholas Morrow is back in the Bears uniform after this season. What about you, C-Dubb?
Once again, Nicholas Morrow. I hear both of you guys. You guys make great points, but I like Nicholas Morrow a lot. I like how he compliments my guy Smith, my guy Roquan Smith in the linebacker core. He brings speed, and he's a great tackler too. So that means he can get out there and guard some of those high speed wide receiver like tight ends in this league. Referring to his injury, it is a concern. That'll be the only thing that'll stop him from being on this team, I think. But I'm gonna go with 60% chance that he'll be on this team next year.
Okay, that's pretty high. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Last person we covered on this list, DeAndre Houston Carson. I'm gonna tell you right now, right? I don't know where to start or stop when it comes to this dude. I really don't. Like, I have no idea. I almost didn't put him on the list just because I'm like, I'm probably not gonna have an answer for this one. Like, I got nothing, fam. I got nothing.
How is he on the team? How he keep getting on the team anyway these last couple years? I'm gonna go ahead and say 100% chance he's on the team next year, and I don't know why.
Like, he was drafted in the 6th round, right? Was it 15 or 16? Whatever. He stuck around this long, so it's like, who's to say he won't? Like, is he going to be our Udonis Haslam? Is that what he's going to be? Is he going to be on this? He's going to stick around long enough to where we officially going to be good, and he's going to get a ring just because he's just been here. Like, he's just here.
He's just hanging around, man. I don't know.
I guess my guy just a good glue guy and a culture guy, but we'll see if he fits this culture.
Yeah,
I don't know. The man since 2015. So come on, bro. That's before Nagy, with Nagy. So he fit 2 different cultures already. Why not be with a third? Shit, he might be good as a backup, and I don't think he demands a lot of money either. So they be like, oh, we gonna just go ahead and give him this little, couple mil or whatever, and he gonna be on the team. I say the guy, depending on how he back up one of the defensive backs, he might be safety spot. He might still be there because I think they haven't played special teams too. So we'll see.
This is true. And he signed a 1-year, $100.77 million. When you're willing to accept that amount of money, you can be anywhere for however long you want. Like there's probably when they doing their little accounting, he may not even pop up as one of the like, yeah, that's a huge amount of money for us. But in the NFL, they probably just like, hey man, listen, they throw more than that away in the damn stadium and food every night, bro. I'm telling you, they're not even worried about
that though.
Hey, Virginia was like, man, y'all better not lose that guy. That's my guy.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be 10 years from now.
Virginia.
The Bears are gonna win a title, and we're gonna be looking at the roster like, damn, DHC is still on the
roster. What? For real.
Shout out to DHC though, man. Keep getting them checks, brother. Keep getting them checks.
Hell yeah. Keep getting
them checks. All right, man. So we talked about the current Bears, man, and what their percentage are for being on this team next season, which is way too early. We haven't even started this season, but you know what? It was fun to talk about. But we want to talk next about which former Bears are going to have the best season. Now, there's not a lot of them because, listen, Cohen, Eddie Goodman, Trevathan, still all free agents.
Still.
I have, like, all free agents. But we got Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, and Nick Foles, which I shouldn't have even put Great White Hope. Why did I even put his name? Me just seeing his name kind of triggered me a little bit. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. But, you know, Foles come like hella high water. If he gets a bunch of snaps, something's gone terribly, terribly wrong over there. But nonetheless, Hicks, Khalil Mack, who do you think has the better season this season?
I'm going to go. Oh, go ahead, nephew, go.
I'm going Khalil Mack, man. I think that the Chargers are on their way. They are in the tough ass division right now, and they're gonna be fighting every time they go against a defensive opponent. They're gonna be fighting, but man, I think so. Khalil Mack, he bursted on the scene. Y'all already know when he went up and smacked those cheese heads, and we blew the game. But he still had an outstanding game, and he went crazy. And he became one of my favorites for his time here. But man, now he's gone. So basically, his first few years. He was on the other side. The other side was Leonard Floyd. For some reason, with him, Leonard Floyd couldn't get right. Then they get Robert Quinn, and then his first year, Robert Quinn act like he ain't know how the hell to play DN and rush the quarterback no more. Then they come back this past season. They start off well. My man's get hurt with a foot injury. So I think this guy gonna come back, and now he got Joey Bosa. You know Joey Bosa gonna come out there and play. God. And then the Chargers are stacked on offense. With Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, just to name a few. And then they got J.C. Jackson as a corner and Derwin James as another defensive back. Man,
that's dangerous.
They just stacked all on both sides of the ball. And those two rushing to their QB, look out. I got Khalil Mack on this one.
Okay. I see you. It's hard to top that, nephew. But I'm going to go with Akeem Hicks. Based on if he is healthy, because we know what he is. He is a terror. You're going to need 2 or 3 offensive linemen to even begin to stop him from getting to your quarterback or to your running back in the backfield. Let's see now. He is going to be extra motivated. He really wanted to stay with the Chicago Bears, all things I heard. And the Chicago Bears, like we done with you, coming back and forth in the lineup. Every game you back, that same game you out the lineup. But Akeem Hicks, I expect him to splash in this league. Watch out for Akeem Hicks. 8 sacks, just a terror. He's going to be a monster this year. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. It's difficult. Like the thing is that can Hicks stay healthy? Because if he can stay healthy, that really changes this whole conversation, right? But considering where he's been, you can't really bet on health with him. So, but just because of the health aspect, I have to pick Khalil Mack here because you'd be crazy to bet on health with Akeem Hicks right now. You just would be crazy to do it. But I tell you what, there's a chance. Really looking at where they are and the conferences that they're in, this may be the Super Bowl matchup.
Absolutely.
This may be the Super Bowl matchup. It's like, and I tell you what, I would love to see Khalil Mack get a ring. Like I would literally love to see that. Like
I'd be rooting
somebody who really was only here for 4 seasons. He became one of my favorite Bears just because of the energy and everything that he put into. And that's not to slight Hicks at all. Hicks was a hell of a player as well, and he put a lot of energy into this team also. But like, there's just some, you just know, even if Khalil Mack gets into a Super Bowl, you can't tell him shit. He is going to kill somebody that game because
Yes,
he's going to try to be unstoppable. You can't. He may even ask if he can line up at tight end in that game because he's going to be so damn excited.
George Love ain't been the same. Remember they put George Love in one time. That man ripped his head off.
And so I hope for the best for both of them. And I really like Hicks going to the Buccaneers. Man, he goes to a team.
What is going on there, Mike?
I have no idea, man.
That motherfucker jumping.
He goes to a team that is definitely a Super Bowl contender just because of them having the GOAT over there on the other side of the ball. So sure. I really happy for both these guys. I'm glad for the teams that they landed on. But yeah, Khalil Mack gets my vote here, man. I think he's gonna have the best. Now, out of the Bears who aren't signed right now, Tariq Cohen, Eddie Goldman, Danny Trevathan, which one do you expect to get a deal first, if any? Do you think any of them get a deal this season?
Yeah, I'll give you two. I get Eddie Goldman and Danny Trevathan. I think both of them obviously got it. Them are professional players there. I mean, solid professionals. They'll give you good numbers for a season. I think those guys will definitely be on somebody's team. Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree. I think man, it's so if Tariq Cohen didn't blow his damn Achilles, man,
it's gonna be hard.
I believe somebody would have brought him in at least on a 1-year deal, threw him a few million and just brought him in. So prayers out to him. But I definitely feel like it's happening in the NFL all the damn time that Eddie Goldman and Danny Trevathan has a chance. If I'm betting on anybody, I would say Eddie Goldman will go first before Danny Trevathan, simply because you can never have too many defensive linemen. Bro, you need somebody to rush the passer. This is a passing league now. So that's why I go with who would get one first.
Yeah. And shout out to Tariq Cohen, man. That what he wrote in the Players Tribune was one of the deepest motherfucking articles ever written by a player. If y'all haven't read that, you need to go check it out.
Spectacular, bro.
That was phenomenal. He needs to win an award for that, bro. Like seriously,
yeah, that shit was
amazing. All right, moving into the last topic today. So I kind of mentioned it earlier how like I use advanced stats a lot over on Chicago Bulls Central. I use a lot when talking about basketball. I think advanced stats are one of the things that really kind of help paint that fuller picture than just the normal stats. So there's this article that showed Darnell Mooney's advanced stats, and some of this I've never been a big advanced stats guy in football because I just love watching the game. I look at what I see on the field, but let's just go over some of these. He averaged 4.8 yards after the catch per reception in 2021. That puts him ranking there with DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, people like that. He ranked 40th out of 94 qualifying receivers for yards per route run, which is crazy. And then he ranked 9th in unrealized air yards, and that's more of a reflection of the quarterback. But he was up there with DK Metcalf, who we all said that we would love on this team, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin. Like the advanced stats for Darnell Mooney, just looking at those would have you absolutely believe that this guy has potential to be number one wide receiver. And I've questioned this all summer, in which we've been talking about, can Darnell Mooney really be a number one wide receiver? I tell you what, I don't usually get swayed by reading one damn article, but after reading those advanced stats, I may have been wrong. I may have to eat some crow on this, man. How you guys feeling?
Okay, I understand that Darnell Mooney, he's a good receiver, man. He's excellent. Just this article just won't move me. I still think he's a little bit small, and he's small built. He's not just small, he's small built. I don't think you can ever be number one with that type of build. I'm gonna say no, but he's still a great player, dude. He's still a great player.
Okay. So you're saying, and just to kind of clarify, so people won't go off in the comments, you're not saying you're saying he's a good receiver. You just don't necessarily want to see him as the number one.
No.
So as a number two, you're more than happy with Darnell Mooney.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Right. Fair enough, Bobby.
Fair enough. Man, I've been diving deep into this film of this guy, but man, just one example. Game 1, when we went against the LA Rams, we got smoked, by the way, because the red rifle came with a rifle that ain't had no bullets, and I'm going to keep saying it. The man broke down Jalen Ramsey so nasty on a hitch and go. It was ridiculous. So that's what made me dive into more. And the man is good in open with space. He can high point that ball. He got good hands. And I think he has the potential to be a number one. And one guy in particular that was a number one in my mind with the same body build, same height, kind of similar metrics and all that stuff was T.Y. Hilton. And T.Y. Hilton, for a nice little span, had some good seasons, 4-time Pro Bowler. If Darnell Mooney can start trending up in that way, especially this year, I definitely believe he could slide right up into that number one receiver spot. And this is his year to prove that. Like, man, like prove he gonna hit. He already number two. But even when he was lined up on the opposite side of Allen Robinson, who everybody was the number one, he received more of the targets because he was able to create separation. That's the big thing, separation. And he averaging 3.2 yards on separation. That's up there with Devontae Adams, Jarvis Landry, and those boys. So he has the potential.
I mean, hey, I can't argue that. Like, looking at everything, I mean, he passed the eye test, right? Like, looking at a player, just watching him on the field, he passed the eye test. I know some size, like, and you can counteract the size by always having another big target next to him, which I think is what they're trying to do with Byron Pringle, even though I would like to see somebody a little bit bigger, but nonetheless, and the thing that I think is going to be key for Darnell Mooney is that once Justin Fields gets the ball to him, what does he do after he catches it? That's going to be what makes Darnell Mooney special. Not to say he's a bad route runner or anything like that, because he's not. But the special sauce with him is what he does after he catches the ball. And this season, listen, it's going to be up to him. It's all he's going to have every opportunity to prove it. And like I said, this opened my eyes a lot more on him. I was never completely down on him, like as a player as a whole. Just I thought we needed a better number one. But hey, it's all going to be shown this season. And listen, best believe Poles is looking at that just like we are, because that's going to really inform what he has to do next offseason as well.
Yeah,
I'm with that too, because I definitely see like Luke what does Luke Getsy like? How does Luke Getsy get him open once Darnell Mooney starts to get doubled? What are you gonna do? And he has to get himself open as well. So we'll see. C-Dubb has something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you made a great comparison with T.Y. Hilton, nephew. I just think his numbers started to go down, as he
T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton's numbers started to go down. He got injured a lot
injuries
too.
And stuff. Yeah.
That goes along with that smaller build. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want dexterity is a plus for me when it comes to my number one receiver.
I got you. Makes sense.
Yeah, because listen, because especially when you're on a team like this that doesn't have we'll see exactly how the wide receiver core ends up shaking out. But listen, Darnell Mooney about to get cracked a few times again.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And so we'll see how he stands up, because he's definitely going to get hit hard a lot. So
you're the number one target. You're the number one target to the defense too. Now they pay more attention to you now.
Now, Mooney had 1 touchdown last season, right? No, 4 touchdowns last season. How many touchdowns are we giving Mooney this season?
Oh, I'm gonna be
clear number one option.
Clear number one option.
Clear number one option now.
I'll give him upwards of 7. I'll give him 7 and up. Okay. 7 and up.
I was gonna go 10.
Wow.
I'm going high, bro. Wow. I'm saying 10 to 12 touchdowns receiving for Darnell Mooney this season.
That's a Pro Bowl season,
bro. It's just simply put for me, because like on the play he broke Jalen Ramsey down. If the red rifle hit him in stride, he gone. Then it's another play to when he went against the Bucks. He hit him with the post route so nasty. If the red rifle didn't miss the pass, it's another touchdown. That's 6 touchdowns that could have been added for the season right there.
Give me some reception. Oh, go ahead. My fault.
I'm giving you the numbers. About to get. Is that what you about to ask?
How many receptions and how many yards? Yeah. I'm about to ask y'all.
So to pair with those advanced stats I gave last season for Mooney, 81 receptions, 1,055 yards, an average of 13 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns. That is almost a Pro Bowl season alone, being the number 2 on a Matt Nagy offense alone. Removing the Nagyitis, given the actual NFL offense, I can easily see him getting 12 to 1,300 yards this season. And like I said, 10 to 12 touchdowns. That's a Pro Bowl season, bro. He's not that far. He's not that far. I think even if he does get 8 touchdown receptions with improved offense and being the number 1 option, we're looking at a Pro Bowler this season from Darnell Mooney, very much so.
Okay,
fair
I would
enough.
need
That's
to,
what I
yeah,
did.
I would need that if he trying to make his claim for that number 1. I need him to get upwards in that double-digit touchdowns, get something like 1,200 yards. I really want to see him like 95 reps, 90 to 100 reps, receptions for the year. I want to see that.
I'm with you on that with receptions. I was gonna go. He need to be hitting that 90 mark, especially if you're gonna be number 1, 90 at least minimum.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to take a look real quick. Give me a second to pull it up. I want to look at Allen Robinson's numbers from last season to see how many receptions he got as the number 1, because I think that's going to inform us at least.
Not much at all.
Oh, yeah, that ain't telling us shit. Jesus
No,
Christ, that's not telling us shit. Okay, we're going to go to 2020 for Allen Robinson, which was his last full season. He had 102 receptions for 1,250 yards. He had 12.3 yards per reception and 6 touchdowns.
Okay.
So that's a good year. That's a solid year.
That's a solid year.
Yeah. So we need to go ahead and have that in
I
comparison.
think he could do better than this.
Yeah, I think he could do better than that.
I definitely.
So,
definitely.
All right. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting season for Darnell Mooney. And let us know what you guys think down below on his season. What do you think his projections are as a number 1 wide receiver overall? Let us know. Guys, you guys anything left before we head out?
Oh, you already know, nephew. Let him know what's happening.
Hey, go ahead. If y'all want more from the Cognac Boys, go ahead, tune in to Shy Bulls Podcast, where we be holding down for the Chicago Bulls. And then we just come rock it out every time with the Chicago Bears Central. And go ahead and check out my main man, CEO Haize, on all platforms. That boy killing it out here. Definitely one of our favorites. And hey, if you can't go wrong, you don't do wrong, damn it. I don't know if it makes sense, but we gonna make it make sense, damn it.
I feel it. Make sure you follow on the podcast at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave us a text and or voicemail to be played on the podcast, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We out this motherfucker, man. We'll see you beautiful people on Wednesday, man. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.